Oh, that's what am I saying? We did have a wrap party. What am I saying? I'm so sorry.
May May, breakfast is ready.
Coming.
It's gonna be me.
Hello, Olivia.
How are you guys?
Hello, we're well, thank you.
Good. Well, it's lovely to talk to you both about Turning Red. I've never wanted to be a red panda so badly in my life.
Well, you have one inside of you.
That is true. That is the message of this film. My heart was so full watching Mei Mei's journey of self-discovery and her embracing her differences. Sandra, I'm interested to know, was there anything you were ever insecure about growing up that you learned to really love as you got older?
That's such a great question. I would say my inner red panda. As you go through that special time in your life and you're filled with a lot of emotions, highs and lows, I think it took me a very long time to actually really embrace and accept that in myself. And then honestly, I've made a career out of it. You know what I mean? It's how you are able to, for me, harness that red panda for me in a creative way.
And I could very much relate to Mei Mei's obsession with Fall Town in this, because I've been a diehard Lady Gaga fan since the age of 14 and still am. Rosalie, are there any artists or bands that you absolutely love?
I mean, anything K-pop, honestly. 17, BTS, EXO, too many to count.
I love BTS as well. What's your favorite BTS song?
Oh, there's so many. It's a close call between Spring Day and Black Swan.
Those are
Love
strong
it.
choices.
Fantastic. I don't know either of them.
I was going to ask, Sandra, is K-pop not your thing?
I know. I feel slightly ashamed as a Korean, but no, I don't know K-pop. No, I know who BTS is.
But Rosalie can introduce you, so it's all good.
Yeah. I'll be.
But Sandra, which bands or artists did you love growing up?
I will say during this time for me, it was a real Britpop wave. You know, for me, my essential bands were Roxy Music, The Cure, The Smiths. You know, everyone's going to know exactly how old I am now right now. But within that kind of influence, like Susie and the Banshees, it was Style Council. I mean, it was very, very Britpop heavy. That was kind of my teenage years.
You've both got great taste, I've got to say.
I'm Maylin Lee. I wear what I want, say what I want, 24/7, 365.
The film explores those awkward teenage years so perfectly. Sandra, I was wondering, were there any embarrassing trends you took part in as a teenager that you now think, oh my God, what was I doing?
I do remember the feeling of the amount of energy that I had and the amount of just unabashed explorations. Like I was a real drama nerd. You know what I mean? And so for me, my friends, our idea of fun, we would just do improv on buses. We would go on a bus, one person would come on, another person would come on, and we would just do a scenario on the bus, and we would just and then we would just like go into a big argument and then just get off the bus. And that's the kind of thing that we would do. But I actually feel like I really adore that person. You know, adore that teenager who was like, I love acting and drama so much. I'm just going to do these spontaneous skits around town and I don't care.
I'd love to see that movie. Just skip.
No, you don't.
I think it'd be entertaining. We see how Mei Mei has to calm herself down in order to get rid of the panda. Is there a film that you guys turn to for comfort that always calms you both down?
Oh,
Comfort film.
I will say, this is another like real Brit thing. I love Sense and Sensibility. To me, it's like, I'll just watch Emma Thompson do anything. But that's one of my faves. That's just good, feel good for me.
She's the greatest.
The best. What makes you feel good?
Monsters, Inc. and
Yes.
Monsters University. Monsters University is an underrated Pixar film. That film, I've watched that film the most out of any Pixar film.
Who are we missing? Oh, Mike Wazowski.
I think has such a good message and it's hilarious. Just like Turning Red.
I don't trust anyone who doesn't love Monsters, Inc.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Classic.
I'm a gross red monster! Don't look at me! Stay back!
This happened already?
What did you say?
This film's going to speak to so many youngsters who are figuring out who they are. Sandra, what's your advice for someone who may be struggling in accepting who they are and loving themselves?
Be kind to yourself. Just say that one thing. It's like, may I be kind to myself, right? You're not saying that you're going to do it. You're just kind of going to try to do it. You're just going to make a little bit of space in your own mind that's probably spinning or feeling like it's crushing on you, just to give a little space to say, may I be kind to myself for this second.
It's so simple, but it's so true.
Mama's girls.
Family's such a huge part of this film. What's one of the best life lessons that your family's taught you that's always kind of stayed with you growing up?
Be happy. They'd say that life is short. Really cherish the moments and try everything if you find something that makes you happy, just go for it. That's why I'm doing acting in the first place.
That's amazing.
Letting me pursue my dream, even though it's so risky and so out there, especially in Asian culture. The traditional thing is to be a doctor or have a stable job, but for them to let me do acting is really incredible.
I agree. I mean, that's a real generational difference between Rosalia and I, and I also feel like that's a big part of the film, particularly in an Asian culture kind of way. You know, for young people, it's a real struggle to break away from the parental and filial duty. It's just very deeply ingrained in us, but I want young people to be able to take that space and try and find their voice. Equally for the parents of that, like my generation, it's just like give your children a little bit of space to be themselves. And so while my parents initially were very much frowned upon being an artist, they didn't understand it. It was, you know, when you come from an immigrant household, security and safety is very, very important for a lot of good reason. I'd say for me, my parents are quite religious, and so the idea of doing good for the whole is for society, for the world, was very much ingrained in my family. Just don't do it for you or just even for your own family. Whatever you do in life, make the world a better place.
I love that. And Sandra, everyone's so excited about the final season of King Eve. I've got to bring it up, otherwise I might get fired if I don't. How did it feel walking off set for that final time? Because I imagine it must have been really emotional to say goodbye.
It was very emotional. I can at least tell you this. The very last day of shooting is the very last shot of the show. And so Jodie and I were together for that day. It was very, very emotional for the both of us. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
Did you have a big wrap party?
You wish. I wished. But here during still shooting it during the pandemic, that was not possible. Yeah, it was really, really, really sad. Oh, what am I saying? We did have a wrap party. What am I saying? I'm so sorry. We did have a wrap party. It was fantastic. You know what? I must have been thinking of just the other projects that I've been doing during the pandemic where no one got together. But yes, we did have a wrap party. What am I saying?
That's good that you've got no memory of it. That's a good sign.
That's true. Suddenly now it's all coming back to me. Yes. Where we spent, I won't say more.